analysis, behavior, courage, death, expound, friend, Goliath, health, inertia, juncture, kindness, love, mature, nature, oppose, psychology, relation, society, theory, universe, victory, wisdom, xylophone, y'all, zigzag. This is the Cameron Avant Show. I think interviews that I should do, I'm trying to figure out ways how to get people on the podcast. If I want to try to search for people that may be possibly having a book coming out, or someone that is promoting something. I don't know. Maybe I'll look up and see what's going on in the city this weekend. I have a portable mic that I can hook up to my iPod Touch, and I can record through there to, just get some live stuff. Maybe I can interview somebody. Well, maybe I'll do that in a few weeks because I want to get some business cards made up. And I want to get my website fixed up this weekend. I could buy some space. So I didn't realize on the website GoDaddy, they don't have. They sell you the personal website, a business, or like a business plus or business professionals, like the third level. So if you buy the personal one, like I did, you get 5 pages. Excuse me, I'm going to move the mic here. Get more relaxed. So you get 5 pages, and it doesn't have the option to add an audio player to it. So then you run into the situation where you don't have a way. There's no way for me to put the podcast directly on there. So I've just been taking the page and putting my YouTube links on there, which means I have to load it to YouTube first. And so you have to load it to YouTube as a video just to get the audio onto my website, So I want to get the audio on the website. And I want to get it where people can play it right there at the website, or they can click to download it, and then also get it on iTunes and get it on the other streaming websites that they have. They call these RSS feeds, these blog feeds, and all that stuff. I think there's something good for me. Some way to vent, talk. Because sometimes it's hard to talk to people. It's hard to sit there sometimes and talk to people because in my head, and the thing I learned in therapy is not to be a mind reader. Because my problem is while I'm speaking with someone, in my head, I think, okay, they're judging me to either shut up and stop talking, or they're not interested, or, they've heard enough. They understand what I'm talking about. So it's time to move on. So, and they call that mind reading when you're trying to figure out what the person's thinking. And there's no real way to do that. You should recognize your audience as far as the person you're talking to, and you should recognize body language. You should recognize if this person is paying attention. Do they seem interested? But sometimes I don't know if I just get the wrong read, but I just feel like they're not interested. So let me stop talking. Or no one wants to hear about this subject, so let me stop talking. So then that's the disconnect with people. if there's a moment of silence in a conversation or on the phone or in person, I'm thinking in my head, well, should I talk about this? I'm like, nah, they don't probably really care about that. And then also, there's been a disconnect with me recently where I have, over the last few years, where I haven't really wanted to hear, what another person is saying. They'll say something. I'm like, oh, okay. Sorry to hear that. That's too bad. You'll be okay. Hang in there. It's nothing. It's no real discussion, conversation. There's no inquiry. I don't know what that is. I get certain words, like when I just try to say inquiry. It's like certain letters that start with certain things. I mean, this is that type of stuttering and getting hung up on certain words that start with a certain letter. And also, sometimes if I get up in my head before getting ready to say something to someone, it's hard for me to get the words out, or I can't really get words out sometimes. And I don't know if that's related to stuttering, or if it's a thing when a word like that inquiry, the INQ, somehow it just, my brain doesn't just let it just spell out naturally. I remember when I was younger, and I would call, my friend's house to see if they could come out and play. Or, calling a girl, you get a girl's phone number when you're younger, and you're in the mall or something, or you meet her somewhere, and you exchange phone numbers, and then you have to call the house. And when that dad or somebody answered the phone, like, hello, who's this? It's like, is Tammy home? Or, is, whatever the girl's name is, and you're stuttering over everything. One thing is that the person on the other side, they throw you off of how the plan's supposed to go. Because in your mind, when you're calling someone, you have it planned out already. You say, okay, the phone maybe will ring 2-3 times. If the answer machine comes over, okay, that's plan B. We have a plan for that. We know what this. I wouldn't leave a message, just hang up or something. And and if you call back too soon after hanging up, because you think sometimes someone's didn't hear the phone ring, so you call back again, and then the girl's dad's in the background. Tell that boy start ringing my damn phone. And that's like, oh, I'm never calling her again. I don't want to talk to your dad. That's why kids now, man, they have these cell phones. They have it good. They don't have to call the house to talk to the parent. Kids now, they can have friends for, I don't know how long, they can have friends for years and years and never speak to the parent. Like, I don't even understand that. I don't even know how that can happen. How can they, like, that's so weird. Like, that would never happen before, because first of all, you had the one house phone. Now, I was lucky. When I got older, around 16, 17, I was able to get my own line in my room. So I had my own phone line so people could just call me there. But before that, and that was something that wasn't normal. That wasn't the normal thing to have. It was usually one line. And you would call the house, and the mom or the dad would pick up the phone, and you had to ask for whoever. And I learned, after stuttering a lot, calling, the houses to talk with someone, I could not start with, I forget what the phrase was, but I had to start with hello. Like, hello, is so-and-so there? Or, and I learned later on, a few years, later after that didn't really work for me. I've learned later on to say, is so and so? Oh, is so and so available? Is Cindy available, or whatever the girl's name is? Because starting off with, can I speak with, or is so, I had to start off with a different phrase. Like usually I would say hello. And then sometimes I would get stuck on that. It was like, hey, or hello. And it was like, and you spit out real quick. Is Tamika home? It's just like, you just kind of spit it out and I'm sweating and like shaking. And it's like, oh, it's so crazy. So it's not that I guess it is a stuttering thing, but it's more of getting stuck on certain words or certain things in my head, and it's more just like it's getting stuck on that. And it's very, very weird, very weird. But yeah, that's an interesting thing though. Yeah, the kids, the parents don't even they don't even know what the girl's boyfriend is or their daughter's boyfriend sounds like until he comes over or something, because they have their own phone. A lot of people don't have the house phone anymore, so you don't get to hear the voice of who your daughter or your son is dating or who they're going out with. It's very strange. Even the parents don't even really meet each other, because sometimes if you're going over someone's house as a kid, nowadays you get dropped off or something, and they don't really talk to each other, or because before the parent would call the house and say, hey, my hello, can you let Jimmy know that I'm outside, and the parents would interact that way. Now the kids just text their mom or dad and say, hey, can you pick me up, or hey, I'm waiting outside or whatever. It's just weird. A whole separation now. Yeah, that's very weird, very weird. Yeah, things are a lot different. Yeah, I have to come up with. I need to develop a list of beliefs, a list of ways that I want to conduct and live my life. I need some type of structure. I think there's a radio program that says this is what I believe, or this is something I believe. I think it's on the one of the NPR radio station. Oh, I think it's this I believe. Like a celebrity or someone will go in there and say, something they believe or whatever. I need to come up with something like that. See, but my problem is I'll believe it that day, and then, it can change. It could change pretty fast. I change stuff a lot. But I need to come up with a structure or some type of form in life. Because there is a set of standards that we should all have. And some will relate. Some of us will have the same beliefs, and that's why there are groups. That's why there's same religions, because people believe that. You find a group of people that believe the same thing, and now you have your Baptist, or you have your Lutheran, you have your Unitarian. Or is Unitarian the one that's like open or no religion, but either if even a non-denominational church or religious group, that is their denomination, being non-denominational. So even if you say, just like the people that say they don't believe in God, then your religion is atheism. You're an atheist. That's your group. That's your religion. That's your structure now. Anytime you try to pull out of something, you're just putting yourself into a group. If you look at politics, you have the the people that didn't want to be in the Republican or Democratic, so they said, okay, I want to be an independent. Well, now that's your party. You may say you don't believe this fully or that fully, but you thinking that in another 10,000,000, 10,000 people thinking the same way, now they become part of your group. Just because you opt out of something doesn't mean that you're not in something. So opting out of not being in a group because you want to be independent, or you don't like groups, now you're that person that is not in a group. When I was in college, I did not join a fraternity. Now I'm a person that's out, one of the regular just students that aren't in a fraternity, because that becomes the group. So because if someone says, oh, I don't believe in this religion or that religion, well, that's your group now. You're part of that group. The non-believers or the atheists or the, what's the other group where they don't believe in God? But, no, they believe there's something, but not a God, or, I don't know. So many different groups, but opting out of a group puts you in a group. And that's something I do all the time, is try to opt out of something. And I end up opting in to being a person that's not in a group. That's what I end up opting into. So I need to come up with a structure for my life, a list of rules to live my life by. Because some people, they'll go to church and they'll follow the Bible, and they'll say, okay, this is my list of rules. This is what I'm going to follow. And that's where they find their structure. And the Bible does predict things that, kind of do happen in life. They give you a lot of good life lessons. And I think that's true because life just repeats itself. Life is a cycle. I mean, if you just look at fashion and the way, a couple years ago I saw in rap videos, guys were wearing Champion shirts, and we used to wear it. I used to buy those from Models when I was in middle school. And then and the 90s. And then 15, 20 years later, it just wraps right back around. Because everything's a cycle in life. So if you look at the Bible, all those things happened during that time. And someone wrote it down and said, hey, watch out for this, watch out for that, because it's going to happen again. It's going to come back around again. Life is a cycle. Nothing's really new in life. I mean, everything, if you remember, parents or teachers would always say, what you do is nothing new. I know all your tricks. I've been there before. I've done that before. Because, life is a cycle. Nothing is new. We think it's new, or we think something is shocking. It's not. Not at all. It's shocking to us because it may be new. But think of once you've seen something once or twice or 3 times, after that it's not shocking anymore. If you ask a surgeon or a doctor, or like a doctor that works in a trauma unit, it's not shocking for them to see bones hanging out of a leg. They're not shocked by seeing blood all over someone's clothes and brain matter spilling out the back of their skull, because they've been conditioned to it. They've been used to it. And that's what, because it's not shocking. But the first time they probably saw it was like, oh, what the heck? This is not what I expected. And that's how life is to us, and we're amazed by something. The first time someone experiences deja vu, they're just like, oh my God, I can't believe I'm feeling this. After you get used to it, it's like, oh yeah, that's how life is. This is how life works. Even the first time you experience this, when you're mentioned, you're talking with someone and you're discussing, oh hey man, where's Andrew? Man, I haven't seen him in a long time. Wow, I wonder what he's doing. Then the next day you see Andrew, or the next day Andrew, calls you. Or if you're sitting there and you're thinking about someone, you're like, oh man, I wonder how they're doing. And they call, and what's the first thing you say? Man, I was just thinking about you. The first few times that happens to you in life, you're very shocked, you're very surprised, and you're like, wow, this is so amazing. But after a while, it's like, okay, this is how life works. This is the system. And I believe that's the same way when people are first introduced to like religion, and their first experiences with allowing themselves to be free, allowing themselves to be sucked up into spirituality, and they begin to open themselves up and accept the things that come to them in life, good or bad. Once you can clear your mind to accept things good or bad, then you're able to recognize that life is beautiful. Life is wonderful. And when those bad times come, you're able to deal with it. Now, some people relate that to their connection with God and their connection with, Jesus and everything. I just believe it's just a connection with life, like understanding life and understanding life cycles. Understanding that if you live a certain way, your life will turn out a certain way. Just like they had the book in the documentary, The Secret. The Secret was how you are creating your environment. Are you accepting? Are you thinking about what you want? Are you creating this energy around you? Are you constantly focused on something? Are you constantly focusing on that raise at your job? Are you constantly focused on losing weight? Are you constantly focused on being a better person? And are you working at it every day? And as you do those things, other people are drawn toward you. It's just like if you see someone smiling, you maybe will smile too because you have that connection with that person. And now you're drawing that person into you. It's no big secret to it. It's just that it's a secret. It's new and it's something that people have figured out, but it's not really a secret. It's just life. And they've shared that with us. If you read the book, The Secret, or if you watched the documentary, now it's no longer a secret to you. And now you have to spread that to someone else to let them understand that this is how life works. Now, some people that go to church or they would relate that to being spiritually connected and having Jesus watch over their life. But I think it's just a person understanding life and understanding that you have to be open to accept things. You have to be open to accept people. You have to be an honest person. You have to handle all your business and your dealings in your life as a trustworthy person. And if you do that, then life works with you in that way. If you're putting good things into life, life will give you good things back. It's just how the system works. And there's no way to tell when it's going to happen, how it's going to happen, how often it's going to happen. So with the good things of life, you also have to accept the bad things of life. And that's where religion really comes in to play for some people, because it's very painful to lose people. It's very painful to see young children die. It's very painful to see people lose their parents. So then that's why people need that connection. They need an explanation. And the explanation in church is the Bible, which is teaching you about life, because they've already experienced those things. And they're telling you, hey, look out for this cycle. Don't worry about it. A better day is coming after this. Your pain will go away soon. You know, I look at it as if you're sitting down with an elder, you know, older person that's full of wisdom, that's been through life, and they've fought through the struggles of life, so they get to tell you what to watch out for. And what happens most of the time? Our parents or our grandparents or whoever we've spoken with that tries to guide us through life, everything they tell us usually happens. The people they tell us to watch out for are the ones that are usually in trouble. The path that they tell us not to go down because it's danger down there. What do? We go down there, and what do we find? Danger. You know, they tell us what to look out for, what to do to make your life better, because they don't want you to follow the same mistakes that they followed. You know, and I think that's what you get out of religion. You get that connection to life, to nature, if you want to call it, to your surroundings, to all of the positive and negative energy in the earth. So, you know, it's very interesting once you experience life and you kind of try to understand life. There's a movie I saw recently called Flight, starring Denzel Washington. And in this movie, it shows the struggle of a person with an addiction, a problem that he's not able to control, that tears his life apart. And the reason I like that movie so much is because it shows the struggles in life. It shows the dark side of life. Because sometimes you have a lot of movies that tell a story and it kind of starts off, oh, this person lost his job. Now he has to go out there and, do like, some menial job or something that's not making him happy, or, not what paying his bills to support the family. So he has to do all these little things. And then at the end of the movie, all of a sudden, yeah, he found that dream job. He's writing for that big newspaper he wanted to write for. But you don't show that struggle. You don't show where people have come from. It's the same way they do when they talk about rich people in the world. They say, oh, this person is so rich. This person does this. This person, this person has that. They have this. But look at their life. Look at what they had to go through. Another movie that I'm thinking about is Pursuit of Happiness. Will Smith did the movie. And, and that was based on a true story. A guy had an invention or a product, they just wanted to sell and get out there. And he had to sleep in bathrooms. He had to be treated like dirt by people. They thought he was homeless and a bum and everything. And that's the struggle of life. That's the part that builds your character. That's the part that makes you who you are. So that when you get money, you're not a jerk. You realize where you came from. You realize what a working person is. You realize what it is to pull yourself up. And that's what And I bet you I forget the guy's name. I have the book here, but I can't see the title of it. I have it kind of dark in here. But the man from Pursuit of Happiness, I bet you he'll never forget those times. He'll never forget how he felt. The nights that he cried. I always hear, I listen to Glenn Beck sometimes on the radio. And one story that always makes him cry on the radio is when he did not have enough money. He was either fired from his radio job or, something happened in radio. And, people in radio will tell you all the time, it's not what it's cut out to be. You have your big time guys and you have everybody else that just goes market to market trying to find a job. A year here, 2 years here. There's not too many, Howard Sterns and Glenn Becks and all these big, Sean Hannity, all these big names, Steve Harvey. It's not too many of those. Those are the names, and those are the people making money. Everyone else is, making, like a normal job, and sometimes less than that. And going from city to city, staying here for a year, buying a house, and then, got fired. We got to sell our house and, move on to the next thing. So the Glenn Beck always goes over this. He always tells a story, and it's the one story that always gets him emotional because I think that's what he connects with. That story defines what he went through. You can sum up all of his hard years in that one story. And the one story was that it was Christmas and he had his daughter, or I don't know if he had both daughters at that. I'm not sure. I think he just had the one daughter at the time. And it's Christmas time. You need toys for your kids, the kid is going to school or they're watching TV, with the commercials, or they're seeing kids at school making their lists up, or, somehow they're finding out about gifts, and people, are getting gifts, and parents are buying kids gifts. And he had a child, and it's like, hey, okay, daddy, I need a gift, and he talks about how he went in, all he had was enough money to go into a pharmacy, a Walgreens or CVS or Rite Aid, and buy a little stuffed animal. And it was all the money he could scrounge up together to take and buy his daughter something. Because that's how bad things were. And that story defines his whole struggle. And you look at him now, millionaire, his own radio network, on TV network, writing books, a top radio show. He used to have a TV show on Fox and CNN and all that, and he still tells that story because that story connects him. That story, he's not the rich Glenn Beck. He's the Glenn Beck that couldn't afford that doll for his daughter. That's where he came from. So when he gets money, he appreciates it. He's not going to waste it. He's going to help someone else out. The struggles in life are what makes us. When I got sick and my kidneys were failing and I had to go through dialysis for 4 years, that's me. That is my character. That defines me right there. After that point, everything changed in life. Everything. Nothing was the same at after that time or during that time. Nothing was, the small stuff wasn't important. Gossip wasn't important. Being mean to someone on purpose or laughing at people and, doing the silly little things, the immature things, that didn't exist anymore. Because those were minute things in life. There are certain things in life that will mature you, will knock you out of the silliness that you've been doing in your life. And it will make you think that, oh man, life is short. Oh man, I need to get on track. Oh man, what have I've been doing? I need to do something to give back to this community. I need to do something to leave for my kids. I need to, be a better citizen. I need to be a better person. I need to go out and vote. I need to understand politics. I need to understand life. I need to understand history. All these things are the important things. Reality shows aren't important. I could never seriously sit there and watch a reality show now. Even to laugh at it, it's like I don't even have time for that. Even when I'm not doing anything, my mind is still racing. My mind is still thinking. And it's like those are the little things. Those things are there to entertain people that haven't reached the point of maturity. They haven't reached the point of, I want to be a producer in life. I don't want to be a taker in life. People that sit there and watch that and that's all that they do, they're takers in life. You got to produce something in life, or you have to give back in life. You have to volunteer. You have to participate in your community. You have to vote. I mean, that's the easiest way to participate, is just voting. Having your voice be heard. But not just voting, but understand what you're voting on. And that's something I struggle with to this day. So at that point in my life, when I got sick and I had to go through those 4 years of dialysis, that's what defined me. That's what changed me. That's what matured me. That's what made me connect with life. You have to go through something in your life that's going to connect you with life. It could be getting fired from your job without notice, and you think the world is falling down on you. That may be your moment. It has to be a moment where you feel the world is falling down on you, where you feel that everything is falling apart. Then you connect with life. Then you connect with the life cycle. People in church will tell you that if you hear a preacher speak, they'll say you have to go through something. Because people there at church are looking for help. They're looking for a connection. They're looking for somebody or something to pull them out of where they are, because they've reached a point where the world is falling down on them. And they go to the church to look for it. Me, it was a combination of growing up in the church and also just being by myself and thinking a lot. When you spend 6 hours a day, you spend 18 hours a week in a dialysis unit, stuck in a chair for 18 hours a week, you have a lot of time to think. A lot of time to think. And, when I was catching the bus home, because for a few years I wasn't driving either. So taking the bus home and walking at night and the dark and the quietness, it always allowed me to think. And once you think and you connect and you say, thank you, God, or thank you, whatever, it doesn't matter what you call it. It's life. It's whatever you feel is controlling you on life to make you a better person, to get you back on track, to just hold you up when you need something to hold you up, like a cane or a walker steadies a person that's unbalanced. That's the same thing connecting with life does. But you can only reach that if you feel like the world is falling on top of you. That's why kids that had to be responsible earlier in life, they were always more mature. Because they had to do things they didn't want to do, and they had to do things that were a struggle for them. They had to, miss out on participating in things as far as extracurricular activities, because they had to go watch their brother, or they had to go pick up, something for their mom, or they had to do the laundry because mom was working late. Whatever it is, they had responsibilities earlier in life. So all the little stuff that we were running around doing didn't mean anything. All the practical jokes we were playing in class didn't mean anything. Even kids that had sick mothers or fathers that died young, they matured faster because they had to experience things in life that were serious and that were bigger than the little minute things that we were playing around with. So you have to experience something where life is crushing down on you, where life is coming down. And at that moment, everything after that changes. Everything after that point changes. And once you change and you connect, life is much brighter. I won't say you can understand life because I don't fully understand it yet, but I do accept it. I do understand that there's a cycle. I do understand that we all are going to have to go through things. Either things that we've caused that are consequences of the wrong paths that we've gone down, or if it's just going down a path and hey, you just have to go through this mud. You just have to go through this struggle. This is a forest here, and you may not see the light on the other side of that forest, but you have to keep pushing through those bushes and those branches. Stay on your path if you believe that that's your path. But until you get to a point where the world is crushing down on you, you'll never understand or have a desire to connect with life. I see people sometimes and they just have this look like they don't really understand life. Like it's just so simple, and they just talk about silly things. And like the girl on the bus the other day, she was arguing over a Facebook post. Like, that's so minute in life. Like, those are things that are so small that if you reached your maturity and you reached your understanding, and not a full understanding, but just an understanding, then you can push away and leave the small stuff. You'll hear people say, "Man, I'm too old to play those games, man. I'm too old to play around with that," because they've reached a maturity where those things don't mean anything. They want to save money for their family. They're worried about taking care of the bills. They're worried about saving for a vacation. They're worried about doing other things while maybe their friends want to go to a club and drink all night, and they want to spend their money on women. Well, you might have another man that says, "Hey, I want to save because I want to move my family out of this neighborhood. I want my kid to go to a better school district. I want my family to be better." Or you could be a person that's single, and instead of spending your money at just wasting it, you say, "Hey, I want to save up because I want to get a house. I want to save up because I want to get a down payment for an apartment, get a down payment for a car. I want to save up because I met this woman and we've been dating, and I want to start saving up my money so I can propose to her and be able to buy her a nice wedding ring." Or if you're already married and you're living in an apartment or something, you say, "Hey, I want to save up. I want to get us a house with a lawn, and then we'll start having a family, and then the kids can play out in the yard." And that's someone that's focused and have reached their maturity, and they understand. Not fully understand, but they understand life to be open and to accept what life is going to have to offer them in the good way, and how they will have to push through the struggles, the bad things that come in their life. Because life is short and it will end. And my biggest fear is that if I'm at a point where I'm there on a hospital bed and they're getting ready to pull the plug, I don't want to say, "Wow, what have I done? What did I waste? Why did I spend so much time in a bar? Or why did I spend so much time watching TV? Why was I being a taker instead of a giver? Why wasn't I producing something in life? Why wasn't I giving back something in life? I was being a consumer instead of a producer. That's the difference between an entrepreneur and people that buy things. But you don't reach any of that, and you don't reach that level of thinking until you either have a dramatic change in your life or something opens your eyes to life, and then you realize. But I do believe that even if you do open your eyes and realize, I think you need that struggle in your life. You need something to go bad in your life where it's just like a drug addict or an alcoholic or someone that just hits that bottom. And once they hit that bottom, then they start to look up. Then they start to think of where they can go. Then they think of what's possible. Then they think of all the potential they have and how they could take it one step at a time to build things back up. I'm pretty sure a successful business person, if they get to a point where everything falls apart and they're bankrupt, I bet you that's the worst part of their life. And they say, wow, what am I going to do now? Or someone's business that burns down and the insurance, policy expired the day before. And they were just going to make that payment that day. But it didn't get there in time. And then there happened to be a fire at the shop, at their business, and the business burned down. And everything is gone. And that's where you fight or flight. The fighters will say, okay, why did this happen? Okay, next time I need to pay my stuff on time. Don't let the insurance policy lapse. But you could only go through those steps of thinking once you're at a maturity level to understand life. And not to blame anyone else. And not to blame your surroundings. Not to blame the system. Not to blame anyone else or anything else. Because even if it is someone else's problem that brought it onto you, if it's someone that did something to you, guess what? You still have to deal with it because now you've been sucked into it. They've brought it to you. Now you're involved. If you're driving along and someone hit your car, you didn't do anything wrong. They hit you, but now you're involved. So you can't say, oh man, this person is he's the worst driver in the world. Say if you were that person that hit the other person, it was just a natural accident. Can you be understanding? And when you say, okay, well, this is life. Okay, let's go through the insurance. Let's do all this stuff and take it step by step. No need to overreact. Because if you've reached that level of maturity and if you've reached that level of clarity, then you would say, okay, let's just get this over with. Because this is something small. It's small in your life. It's not big. Because you've already been through the big things. Whatever your big issue was in life, that was it. And now you're able to say, okay, the little things don't matter because I'm on a mission. I have a goal. Whatever your goal may be. Right now, I don't really have any major goals in my life. And that's something I need to work on. You'll never be at full potential. To the day you die, you always be working at something. Even if you reach $1 million, you will always say, okay, but I need 2 million because I can do even more with that. I need 10 million because I can do more with that. I need $1 billion because then I can buy, an island, or I could buy, a whole row of houses and do something with that. There's always a project in your mind. There's always further advancing in your mind. Your troops, your mental troops should always be pushing forward. They should always be marching on. And that march of your mental troops should only stop when you're gone, when you're expired, when you die. But up until that point, you don't want to be on your deathbed laying there and saying, wow, why didn't I do this? Why did I lay around so much? Why didn't I just do what I was supposed to do in life? Why didn't I take risks? educated risks, planned risks, not just stupid risks. Risks like I thought I was going to do is, I just want to leave my job because I don't like it. Okay, well, what are you going to do now? Because that wasn't a planned risk. A planned risk will be, okay, I've saved up $50,000 or $25,000. Now I can quit my job and try to open my small business. Now I can try to do the things I need to do because I have a plan, and it's a feasible plan if things work out. It's not a stupid plan or a plan that wasn't thought out. You want to do a well thought out plan. And then that'll be your goal. I'm still trying to figure out what my goal is. I know I like to be somewhere in the background with TV or audio. I like doing this podcasting thing. I never really had a hobby. So this could be my hobby maybe. This is stuff I like to do, and I watch people do. If I'm at a live concert, I look and see where the sound guy is. See what he's doing over there. The same way singers, they probably listen to the singer and say, "Oh wow, look how he controlled that pitch," or "Look how he did this and that," or a musician at a concert. You probably looking at the guitar, the guitarist, and saying, "Wow, okay, oh wow, he plays the left-handed guitar with his right hand. Wow, I never. Wow, how do you do that?" And oh wow, the drummer has a double bass, and you notice things that other people would never notice because that's what you're into. And I'm learning now, because I'm not at full potential. I'm not at full maturity. I'm at maturity, but not full maturity. So even today, I'm still trying to figure out, okay, what's the hobby? Well, what's this? What's that? Okay. Well, are you willing to be open? Yes. Okay. If you're willing to be open, then take these opportunities that come. You walk past this place called Philly Cam, which is the community access channel, the public access channel for Philadelphia. Okay, you say you're into TV and audio. Hey, they have workshops here. It's only $25 a year. Are you going to sign up and go in there? Yes. Okay. The orientation is coming up. Are you going to go to the orientation? Yeah. Okay. You bought your equipment 2 years ago to do a podcast. Now, Cameron, are you going to go ahead and start doing something now? Oh, no, I don't feel like it today. Then, 6 months go past. Then a year goes past. Another 6 months go past. And then, next thing you know, you're dusting the equipment off. I'm still learning how to be fully open. I think I'm open, but I'm not fully open. And like I said, you'll struggle with that and, to the day you die, probably. And the only reason I kind of can talk about this stuff is because I hit that. Well, I didn't hit it, but it fell on me. That ton of bricks fell on me, and that life crumbled apart for me when I got sick. And that's when you realize life is short. That's when you realize that things aren't bigger. I mean, things are pretty small compared to other big things in life. Your health is the biggest thing ever. Without that, you're limiting what you can do. Being a certain size, being overweight, limits me to the things I can do. And when you go through a situation that, whatever your brick falling on your head situation is, you'll know it. Because you'll feel like everything is gone. I feel like nothing. I feel like I don't even want to go on anymore. And when you get to that point right there, you'll know that you're at your bottom. You'll know that that's when there's only one way but up. Because anything lower than that is death. So you're right at death's door. You're right at the door where you just want to give up. And that's when you'll know, at that point, there's only one way but up. And when you look up, and then you say, wow, how am I going to get up? Because the big goal is just to get up. You know, it may be a small goal to someone else. You know, even when I walk, if I walk 4 miles, but I'll tell you, funny thing, when I'm walking and I think I'm walking fast, yeah, I'm walking fast for a 400-pound man, but when a little 120-pound girl flies by me, they're walking casually, but they're walking casually for them. You know, so what's easy for someone else is a struggle for me because of what situation I'm in and what situation I've put myself in. But you know, I have to learn not to look at them and say, okay, wow, man, I thought I was walking fast. I'm out of breath and I'm sweating, and they're walking by on the phone, laughing and giggling and just like a stroll in the park, you know. But that's okay. But you have to be able to tell yourself in that moment that that's okay. It's easy now for me to say that's okay while I'm not in the process of going through a tough situation. You know, because that's when you find out who you are and what you are and who you want to be. That's when you find out if you're weak or strong, if you're a quitter or if you're a fighter. Now, some things you will quit on. That doesn't mean you're a bad person because you quit on it. You know? Sorry. I don't know if you heard my doorbell there. But a guy came to solicit something. I just peeked out and saw that it was, someone selling something. I didn't even answer the door. I need to put like a little camera out there or something so I could tell, so I can look out from here, from my room to see who's coming to the door. I kind of messed up my pace here, but I guess that was life telling me it's time to shut up. I've said enough. So thank you for listening. And take care. Bye.